I'm about to make a name for myself up in here.
Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself. Welcome into the Gridiron Geeks podcast. Gridiron Geeks. That's not my favorite football movie. Gridiron Geeks. As you can see by the title of the show, we are an incredibly professional podcast. And this is the podcast where we talk about all things NFL football and geek culture, nerd culture. What is it even?
All things that you would have been bullied to talk about in high school.
Yeah, but it's cool now.
Yeah, which I kind of hate.
I know, right? Well,
Bring back gatekeeping.
To be fair, I was a month away from turning 18 the first time I ever watched a Star Wars movie. And I didn't discover my love for comic books until I was 20 years old in college.
That's insane to me.
So, but don't worry, I do love the Ewoks. That's a different conversation that we can have at a later time. Today's episode, we're going to be covering the head coaching news in the NFL. We've got some people who are interviewing for jobs, some people who have been hired for jobs, some people who have been fired since our last episode from last week that Dakota called, obviously. By the way, introduce yourself, Dakota.
Hi, I'm Dakota. I've been into Star Wars since I was 1 year old. That's not even a joke. The first movie I saw in theaters was The Phantom Menace.
Nerd.
Fun fact. I've been a huge Captain America fan since 2011 when the first Avenger came out, but we'll get more into that later. And I make Dungeons and Dragons content on the internet and football content, and sometimes I take your favorite NFL player and I make them a silly little D&D character.
Bang. So we'll do head coaching news, then game picks, and then we'll take a little break. And by little break, I mean we'll just intro the fact that we're moving on from the football stuff to the geek stuff. And then we'll talk about some Galaxy's Edge news and some Kathleen Kennedy news at Disney Lucasfilms. And we're going to talk about the Harvey Dent that we're getting for Batman 2, which is really exciting. And then at the very end of the episode, we're going to be talking about our favorite superheroes and why they are our favorites. So let's jump in to the head coaching news. First big news. You kind of broke it before it ever happened last week. Mike Tomlin out at Pittsburgh.
Although he didn't get fired. And
That's true. He did.
Yeah.
I mean, do we really think that he didn't get fired? I mean, I respect what Pittsburgh did, being like, hey, you've been here for so long. You brought us a Super Bowl ring. You never had a losing season. We respect you too much. We're moving on.
Yeah.
But we're going to let you go out the way you want to go out.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I think it says a lot when you got a guy like Aaron Rodgers crying over you. You know, especially when you consider how he treats his previous coaches.
I didn't realize he was capable of emotions.
Are cyborgs capable of emotions?
Well, yes. Booyah!
There is an entire video game talking about this. You're right. But it's so weird because there's so many coaches from when we were growing up that are just no longer in the NFL.
That means we're old.
Don't say that.
I turned 32 in 20 days. 26 days. 23 days? I don't know what the math is. I have a countdown on my phone. But yeah, it just means that we're old. That's all that means.
That's crazy.
20 days. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, I mean, Bill Belichick is gone. He's still coaching, but he's in, he's doing college football. John Harbaugh's been fired. Mike Tomlin is out. Although John Harbaugh has been rehired.
I was about to say he's not leaving, though.
So let me ask you this. Where do you think the Steelers go from here? And then where do you want to see Mike Tomlin end up?
Well, from the sounds of it, Mike Tomlin is like done.
Oh, he doesn't want to coach anymore? I hadn't seen anything like that.
He is done from what I saw.
Done.
The Steelers have interviewed Brian Flores.
That'd be crazy.
Which is interesting because then he also was interviewed for the Commanders DC position.
Interesting.
I think, before I get to your question, because I brought up Brian Flores, I think he is interviewing for the Commanders DC position and for this to try and get more money out of the Minnesota Vikings to kind of see what they're willing to do to keep him. But that's a conversation for another day. I don't think they'll do Pete Carroll.
No. That guy needs to be put to a retirement home or something.
I know the Ravens just interviewed McDaniels.
Yeah, that was today, I think.
Yeah.
Us recording this.
I feel like McDaniels would be really interesting in Pittsburgh, especially when you consider how long Pittsburgh has had most of its head coaches.
They've had 3 head coaches since like 1973 or something like that.
There's what's his name? He was a coordinator for the Browns. He's like 30 something. Kevin something?
Stefanski?
Yes. I think he interviewed, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right. He's been interviewing a lot of places.
I think they're gonna go for somebody young, because I think, in the past that has worked out well for them. They get somebody young, they get their franchise guy, but at coach. So I feel like they're gonna go for somebody like McDaniels or Stefanski. I think they're gonna go young, and I think they're gonna go kind of sticking with the times, because I feel like Mike Tomlin, when he was brought in, he was very knowledgeable about the offensives and the defensive plays at the time, which probably is why he kind of started to get a little bit complacent and still had these winning records but never really went anywhere with it. But I could see someone like Stefanski going to the Steelers for sure.
That kind of tracks. I feel like when you think of the coaches, like the coaches since we've been alive, especially, there's been 2 of them. It was Coach Cowher and then Mike Tomlin. Yeah. They've just been like, I don't want to say stoic people, but like everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like we're good. They don't get too high emotionally. They don't get too low emotionally. They don't really let anything like rattle them.
Yeah.
So I could kind of see them going with the Stefanski type character. If it's not Stefanski, I could see them still going with like that kind of demeanor.
Hypothetically, I know that the Packers and Matt LaFleur are currently in conversations about keeping him around, apparently. If on the off chance that Matt LaFleur gets fired, I could see him in Pittsburgh, especially if Aaron Rodgers doesn't retire yet.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
I think we're supposed to hear about that like sometime this week or next week.
I know that they've been in active conversations, but I don't anticipate them firing him.
See, I think he's in a hot seat right now, but I don't think it'll be an immediate firing. I think it'll be like, you have one more chance or else.
Like it's burning his cheeks is what you're saying.
Yeah. But it was interesting because I guess after their loss, the ownership like talked to him on the plane ride home and was like, hey, we have to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Which is weird to me.
Yeah. Why can't you just wait till you get home?
I know. Like hey,
dang, the man just lost.
You have to spend this next hour and a half contemplating everything you've ever done wrong ever.
Not just did he lose, but they were up 21-6 in the fourth quarter.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
To a division rival. Just the worst way to go out for them this season.
Who has been like dog shit up until like this year, mind you. The best part too is that this isn't the first time in a playoff or championship that Matt LaFleur has been on a team that gave up a 20-plus point lead. He worked for the Falcons.
Oh, that's right. Was he calling the plays? Was he the offensive coordinator then?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, my God. Unfortunate circumstances there. Man. No, yeah, that'll be interesting. I think the Denver Broncos are probably going to lose Vance Joseph, so we're going to have to replace our defensive coordinator, which is tough.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of a Super Bowl run, too.
I know.
Bummer. But it makes sense. I mean, so he was the head coach of Denver.
Yeah.
When we fired him, he went to go be defensive coordinator at Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
He recently came back to Denver to be the defensive coordinator. So now that he's going to be a head coach again, I anticipate him potentially going back to Arizona being their head coach. Like he's just staying kind of in that, big sky country, I guess is what it's like. I don't know what it's called technically, but the mountains adjacent. He's kind of staying in in that mountain region.
He likes the
Yeah,
West Coast.
yeah. So I could envision him kind of being the guy in Arizona.
Hmm.
I don't know what Atlanta's gonna do. Honestly, I think Baltimore's got some good like. Baltimore's got some options. I really want
Yeah.
them to go out for Brian Flores. I think he's the perfect fit in Baltimore.
I would not be surprised if he goes there. I think, their offense is pretty good. I feel like their defense is the one that needs the most amount of work.
Yeah.
I the fact that he interviewed with the Ravens and then interviewed with the Commanders though for their DC position is so weird to me.
That is interesting.
And I'm curious as to if part of it has to do with the lawsuit he has against the NFL right now. If maybe that
Possibly.
was brought up in the interview with the Ravens, like, hey, we would hire, we just wanted to see what you're about, but we got to obviously talk about the elephant in the room with your lawsuit against the league.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure where all that stands at this point in time.
I have no idea either.
But we do have one hiring. We kind of mentioned it earlier. John Harbaugh, one of the most recent firings, was hired before anyone else by the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants,
For 5 years.
5 years, isn't it like $100 million?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big old contract. I think I sent you this in Discord, and I was like,
That's what I think it is. Yeah.
did they settle? I feel like they're settling.
They literally saw the first guy that hit the market that was on a decent-ish team and went, you.
Yeah, because we also have a top 10 running back of all time and a MVP award trophy winner at quarterback. Yeah,
Right.
I just I think this is gonna be not good. And everybody likes to bring up this fact about John Harbaugh. Before Lamar came in, John Harbaugh was just as good, and now with Lamar, blah blah blah. I'm like, he had Joe Flacco. Are we gonna ignore the elephant in the room that he also had a Hall of Fame quarterback before he got this Hall of Fame quarterback?
Who was on a bench and then was called up, and then the season that he came back was already a contender for comeback player of the year.
Yeah. By the way, bone to pick with Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
He has been so good everywhere he's gone except Denver. I want to run that man's face under cold water for a good 40 minutes. Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
And he refused to help Drew Lock develop. That's a different conversation.
There's something about veteran quarterbacks sometimes that bug me.
Me too. Me too.
It's interesting. Speaking of veteran quarterbacks, obviously it's not a coach hiring, but Matt Ryan is now officially the president of football for the Falcons.
Good for him. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. I talk about this a lot on our Waterboys College Football show.
Yeah.
I love when former players get these kind of jobs.
Oh, for sure. I wouldn't
especially
be surprised.
Former players who have
ties,
success.
Yeah.
Because I'm John Elway.
Yeah.
Won 2 Super Bowls as a quarterback, back to back, by the way, 97,
Right.
98. And then goes on and wins a Super Bowl as a general manager, and then moves into the president of football operations. He's no longer really involved with the team anymore.
Right.
So he's kind of out of that. By the way, that documentary on Netflix, if you haven't watched it about John Elway,
I will watch it.
It's really good. It might turn you into a Broncos fan. They
Well-
might become your AFC team. I will be honest about that one.
I think the moment Sean Payton stops working for the Broncos, I will become a Broncos fan.
Oh, he makes it so hard sometimes. He really does. He really does. But I swear, if he gets us a Super Bowl this year, he can do
It
it
needs to be investigated.
He can do whatever he wants.
I don't trust that man.
yeah.
If they make it to the Super Bowl, investigate his ass.
I love former players getting these kinds of roles. I love
Yeah.
it when they get college head coaching jobs. I love it when they get, general manager jobs. I love all of that kind of stuff. It's so cool. And I think more teams, NFL or college, because college football teams, college sports are now, because of all of the NIL and everything with all these players getting paid now.
Yeah.
Teams are hiring general managers now. Stephen Curry is the general manager for Davidson's basketball.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Andrew Luck is the general manager for Stanford football.
Oh, good
So
for
like
him.
I think there's a lot to be said about like the experience and stuff that these players get, specifically like players like quarterbacks. Like quarterbacks
Oh,
by
yeah.
far are the most like qualified and prepared for these kinds of things. But as a former college running back, I will say like I do know a lot about the sport.
Yeah.
I will say because I was a running back, I've also forgotten a lot about the sport. That's also a different conversation.
Well, and I feel like too, kind of going off of that, when you think about like Kevin O'Connell, for example, and the success that he's had both short term and knock on wood long term, with some quarterbacks, taking like Sam Darnold, for example, I think because he was a backup and he worked under Tom Brady and he played in the league, that's why he is able to take guys such as Sam Darnold and essentially make them look the way that they look.
Yeah.
I had actually said when Kirk went over to Atlanta that I didn't think it was going to be a good fit because Kirk Cousins is a very emotional guy. And I think he needs somebody that
You like
helps.
that?
He needs somebody to help keep him here.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin O'Connell is that guy because Kevin also gets very emotional. But I think it's always a good thing when you have somebody who has been in the shoes of somebody who's gone through adversity.
He did this last week too.
I know I can't say that word. Who's gone through
Adversity. Yeah.
some difficulty.
Yeah.
Being able to step in there and have actually been like, hey, I've been in your shoes, quite literally. I know how to play this game, which is why, I think had Adam Thielen not gone to the Steelers and would have stayed with the Vikings, he 100% would have had a coaching job with the Minnesota Vikings when he retired.
Yeah.
I don't think he does now.
Which just happened, by the way.
And I'm not sad about it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I think had he had stayed with the Vikings for the rest of the season, I would be. But to say, I mean, I get it. What NFL player doesn't go into the NFL and want a Super Bowl? But when you're a player who is a undrafted free agent, UDFA, and, the team that made you what you are obviously doesn't have what it takes to finish the playoffs, to me, like, you got Harrison Smith, who has every right to want a Super Bowl, and he stayed. But Adam, like, to me, him leaving because he cared more about playoffs than he did about a team that has essentially made him who he is and has provided what they have. Like, that man was my favorite player for years. And
Yeah.
now I'm like,
Don't you have a Thielen jersey?
I do.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, you ruined it. Like, I don't care. You could have had a perfect send off with CJ Ham, Harrison Smith, but you ruined it. Way to go.
I don't even remember how he got here, but we were talking about John Harbaugh getting hired as the Giants head
For
coach.
the Giants. Yeah.
No, such an interesting hiring. I don't like the Harbaugh family, mainly because I don't like Jim Harbaugh, because I hate the university in Ann Arbor. And so, yeah, I'm kind of I think it's kind of funny. It will be interesting to see what he's able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going from Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry to Jackson Dart and Cam Scattered-Brains. Like, I don't see it's not gonna be easy to find success there. And it's not like you're in an easy division.
No,
like
God,
the
no.
NFC East is Jaden Daniels gonna be healthy next year.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles are still the Eagles. Dak Prescott is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And they have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb now.
Right.
So once they figure some stuff out on defense, they'll be a problem.
The NFC East and the NFC North, if the bracketing wasn't the way that it was, could easily all four teams go to the playoffs every single year. If bracketing wasn't what it was.
Which is a possibility now. Now that it's 7 teams.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Because you get the division leader, division winner, and then the 3 wild cards. So it technically could happen that way.
I'm interested.
I wonder when that first time that happens, what people will think.
I think it'll be next year.
Almost happened with the NFC West this year.
It almost happened with the NFC West this last year. It almost happened with the NFC North last year.
Yeah, it did. It did last year with the NFC North.
I think it'll happen next year. I think it'll be the NFC North.
Okay. Speaking of the NFC North, we've got some games to pick.
Hell yeah. I want it to be known that I was undefeated last week.
Yeah, Coda went 6-0. I went 5-1. What game did I pick that I got wrong? I can't even remember
Eagles.
now.
You picked the Eagles. I picked the Niners.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And it almost went that way.
It was a very boring game.
It was a very boring game. R.I.P. George Kittle's Achilles.
Oh.
I heard that after they confirmed that it was an Achilles tear, the team doctor asked George Kittle what he needed. George Kittle said a bottle of tequila.
Yep.
So he downed the whole bottle of tequila, and by the time the Niners win the game and get back to the locker room, it's a party. And the life of the party was the man who just tore his Achilles tendon. So shout out George Kittle. You are an absolute dog, and it's going to be a bummer. Hopefully you can make it back into the league one day. But yeah, you went 6-0. I went 5-1. Altogether, the Gridiron Geeks were 11-1 on their picks. That's not bad.
So if this doesn't convince you to watch ball, I don't know what you're doing, because clearly you should subscribe to us because we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we know ball. We know ball, and we know... I can't think of something else that's kind of like ball that's like
obscure
central.
Comic knowledge.
Yeah. Kryptonite.
We can speak Arabish. That's a lie. I can't speak that.
I can barely speak English. We do have 4 games this weekend. It's divisional rounds. We are 2 games away from the Super Bowl 60. We've got some really great matchups this weekend. Saturday we've got 2 games. Sunday we've got 2 games. I kind of wish they would put both conference keep the conferences on the same day.
Yeah, same.
I feel like they should do that. But the first game of divisional round, is Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills traveling to God's country, Denver, Colorado, to take on the Bucking Broncos.
Is God from Denver?
No, but it's Mile High, so it's like the one that's closest to...
See, I didn't read that part of the Torah, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think the Bills were opened up as 1.5 point favorites, but since then the line has moved and the Broncos are now favored in this game, which is kind of crazy. Kind of makes me stressed out a little bit. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. But it's in Denver. It is a 3:30 Central Time kickoff. Who are you taking?
They didn't play against each other earlier this year. Why did I think they
No,
did?
the last time we played each other was in the wild card round last year.
Okay. This is a hard one.
This is the 3rd time the Broncos and Bills have ever matched up in the postseason.
That's interesting. This game is hard because it's like, which defense do I trust the least?
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's which quarterback can bail his team out better, essentially. That's how I feel about this game. The one thing that the Bills have got going that the Broncos don't is that their star running back is in. Dobbins is on IR.
Yeah, unfortunately. And our second string running back that's taken over the starting job is a rookie, RJ Harvey, who was recruited to college to be a quarterback, so he's only been playing the running back position for like 4 years.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. So can he handle the pressure? That's a question for you there.
Yeah.
But it does look like the Bills are a little bit healthier going into this game as far as...
Oh, no, they are very banged up.
Are they oh, yeah, I'm looking at that now.
Yeah. Like, it's like shocking how many players are on their injury report this week.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it because I haven't had a chance to look quite yet. Because usually it's like, for me, playoff games are a little bit easier to pick, ironically. Yeah, you made it into the playoffs, but it's usually like with certain teams, it's like the caliber of play better than the others.
And the Bills just haven't really been that team this year. Like the Bills, this is probably the worst that they've been over the last 5 seasons.
Which is interesting because this is their best chance.
This is their shot. This is Josh Allen's shot. And last week, I mean, he hurt his knee
Yeah.
He hit his hand on a helmet or a wrist or something
A
when he
helmet,
threw a
yeah.
pass, and he's dealing with like a shoulder injury too. So he's got like 3 things that are kind of slowing him down at this point. And the Denver Broncos are every player on their active roster practiced this week.
Yeah.
And it's in Denver. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you take the Bills, I promise.
Except you're going to end the call and then we're never going to talk ever again.
Yeah,
No.
I will cancel this podcast for good.
Like all of the like facts are in the Broncos' favor. But there is something in my gut.
Josh Allen in January.
Yeah,
He's special.
I feel like if it was any other team, I'd go Broncos just because of the location. But I there's just something about the Bills, so I got to go Bills. Go Bills.
I'll respect it. I'm taking the Denver Broncos, obviously.
What?
No, but I really do think that they have a massive chance in this football game. The Bills' run defense is terrible. I think the Broncos are going to lean on the run game, especially getting Bo Nix involved in the run game.
Yeah.
I think Bo Nix is probably the 5th fastest quarterback in the NFL, so he's going to be able to get some stuff going on the ground because the Bills are actually dead last in yards per carry given up to quarterbacks this season.
Interesting.
Which is like a really interesting stat.
Yeah.
So I would expect the Broncos to do some design runs type things. And then, I mean, the Broncos, they have the best pass rush in the league. They're number 2 in run defense.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do defensively against this Bills offense. I mean, James Cook and Josh Allen are just such a special combo.
I will say, like, if we were picking what we think is going to be the best game of the weekend, I fear that this will be the best game of the weekend.
I agree.
And I'm also very excited because Kirk Cousins will be joining the commentary team.
Oh, really?
For this game. Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
I'm very excited for that. You know how I feel about Kirk Cousins, so I'm really excited for that.
You're a Kirko
Chains, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Dressed up as him for Halloween once.
That's hilarious. So you're taking the Bills, I'm taking the Broncos. The Saturday night game, 49ers at Seahawks, a little NFC West action for us. For a third time, who are you taking?
Seahawks.
That feels reasonable, honestly.
I mean, the Niners could barely win against the Eagles, who weren't playing at their best. They lost George Kittle. You can't have Christian McCaffrey do everything.
100%. And you're absolutely right. Without George Kittle, I think it's just going to be really difficult for that offense to get anything going, especially against this defense in Seattle with the 12th man, the 12s, whatever they call them. Yeah, it's going to be really tough for them there. I did see, however, Sam Darnold popped up on
his
that.
oblique. Yeah. Which is interesting.
Yeah, my boy Drew Lock may be getting a playoff start. How about that? Shout out my boy Drew.
It's interesting because, like, you know, being a Minnesota Vikings fan, I know all too well about playoff Sam Darnold. I know that man too well.
There is a meltdown coming, but
I think that defense will be able to hold them in. And again, just if the Niners,
it's the best defense that he's quarterbacked for.
Oh, for sure. If the Niners had played more convincingly against the Eagles, I would take the Niners. But I mean, even when I made the pick last week, it was still kind of hard for me to pick the Niners.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you just kind of don't really know what you're getting with them at this point.
Yeah. They're there.
And
you know?
yeah, and I like the Seahawks coming off the first round bye. I think their offense has been clicking. They've got one of the best 1-2 punches in the backfield.
Yeah.
With Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. So I think the Seahawks will be able to handle this one. I don't even know what they are favored by. 7 points. Oh my God. That is the
biggest gap of all 4 games.
Yeah, I did not realize that it was that big of a spread on this game. So yeah, shout out to Seahawks. Congrats on making the NFC Championship again. Sunday afternoon, mid-afternoon. Texans at Patriots.
Texans.
You think the defense is that good?
I think the defense is that good.
I kind of agree with you. But Drake May kind of showed me that he could handle a good defense last week. a schemed defense last week. I don't know that he can.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be able to handle like the guys that are on this Texans defense.
Oh yeah.
But as far as like scheme and like disguised pressure, disguised coverage, I think he did a decent job last week against the Chargers. Which shout out to them.
But
Congrats
I feel like
on beating the Chargers.
I mean, right, you beat the Chargers. I got 2 words for you on why I am picking the Texans. Danielle Hunter.
He is a specimen.
Oh, I miss that man so much. Homie is 31 and still has some of the best numbers in the league.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah, the combo of him and Will Anderson Jr. is just
killer.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, their pass rush is awesome. Shout out my boy Tommy Togiai, their D tackle out of the Ohio State University.
Ohio State.
Will always be a Togiai fan. He actually scored a touchdown last week, I think. He got the scoop and score.
Oh, did he?
I'm pretty sure it was last week or 2 weeks ago. So shout out to him. Yeah, that was going to be good. I'm actually going to take the Patriots in this one.
Interesting.
I think the ghosts of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady are doing some weird magic stuff in the background here.
They're deflating the balls.
Yes, deflating the balls and recording their Texans practices.
Right.
So
I mean, they are the 3-point favored.
Yeah,
so
which I mean, it makes sense. They're the home team. You know, it's in Foxborough, and I mean, here's the thing: Texans are an indoor team.
It is outdoor.
They're going to Foxborough, which is not warm at all in New England. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know what the weather looks like for that game or anything like that, but
usually though I'm in agreement, but I feel like this year has proven that that's not always the case.
Yeah.
I think there is a stat out there that says that teams that played in a dome stadium have like a 60% chance of losing games when they play outdoors. But I don't know. There's just this season has been wonky. And I take a lot of things into consideration when I make these picks. Like on paper, you know, looking at the Patriots, it's like, yeah, the Patriots should probably, you know, win this. But there's something about the hunger that Danielle Hunter has, because I think this is his last season in the NFL, if not one of his last seasons.
At 31?
He's been playing for a while, man. He's been beaten up. He's gone around.
That's fair.
I also, as somebody who has seen Stephon Diggs in the playoffs firsthand and got to meet the guy after, I don't think he is as good as he used to be.
There's no Minneapolis Miracle in the cards here?
No.
Well, we'll see. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. I don't think it's going to be a very good football game, but I do think it's going to be an interesting matchup because I think the Patriots defense is good enough to slow down the already slow moving Texans offense. But if there is weather, I mean, CJ Stroud played at Ohio State.
Right.
He's played in cold weather before. So that wouldn't be the first for him. He knows how to handle that. Last game, Rams at Chicago. Bears. We were just talking before. Were we recording or was it before we started recording?
It was before.
Yeah, the weather. I saw a video. It's like blizzard conditions in Chicago right now.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to look up the predicted weather for Sunday. If I had to pick between the Bears and the Rams, I'd pick the blizzard.
You're not a fan of either of these teams.
So, fun fact, really quick side tangent, fun fact. I graduated college in 2022. I went home to Minnesota for a couple days at the end of February, or the middle of February when I graduated. And I watched the Super Bowl with my parents. My dad has been a Minnesota Vikings fan his whole life. There's nothing more than he hates than the Green Bay Packers, the Chicago Bears, and the Detroit Lions. He hates the Detroit Lions. He thinks that they are a dirty team with dirty players. And that thought process did go on to Matthew Stafford even after he was with the Rams. And when Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl, my dad stopped watching football for an entire year because that's how mad he was about
the hate runs deep. I appreciate it. I respect that so much.
The Lions. So for me, this is a hard game because it's like I gotta honor my father. So for Sunday, it's not looking good. It's not supposed to snow on Sunday, but it's supposed to be high of 20, low of 9, which probably means that based on the wind, it's gonna feel.
Sun will be down by the time this game starts. So
yeah, it's gonna feel cold. If it wasn't supposed to be that cold, I would still take the Rams. I still have a lot of faith in Matthew Stafford. But when he was in the NFC North, homie was still playing in a dome. He was not playing in the elements as often as the Bears do.
Yeah.
It's going to be a run-heavy game. And I think if they can't utilize Puka Nacua, the Rams are fucked. So I got to go with the Bears.
I like it. I'm taking the Bears as well. I feel like something clicked in the fourth quarter for Caleb Williams. Like it really feels like something clicked in, like that dog in him like woke up. You know what I mean? So yeah, give me the Bears in this one too. I really think that they're going to be I think the Bears have a chance to make some noise this postseason. I mean, even going into the NFC Championship, if they do win this game like we're both picking them to do against the Seahawks, then it's going to be an interesting NFC Championship. So there you have it. There are the picks for our divisional rounds. Let us know in the comment section who you guys have and who you don't have. Which
and
ones
what
did
you
we get
got
wrong?
last week? Who'd you get
Yeah,
last?
let us know your records from last week. Drop in the chat.
Because we want to know. We want
Because
to know
again, we
how
were
badly we were.
a combined 11-1. So
wow, good math. I don't think I would have been able to say it that fast.
You were 6-0. I was 5-1. 6 + 5 is 11. 1.
Right.
Speaking of math, there has been some actual confirmed subtraction at Disney Lucasfilms.
That was a good segue.
Kathleen, I'm the king of the segues. And no, I'm not like Paul Blart. Don't even make the jokes out here. He is the king of the segues. I'm the king of the segues spelled differently. I don't know how it's spelled.
Verbal segues.
But it is spelled differently. Kathleen Kennedy officially out at Disney Lucasfilms by the end of this week, right? Like Saturday. Like,
yeah.
Is her last day.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Friday is her last day.
She used the announcement today to talk about things that she had attempted to set up for Dave Filoni before she left. I want to point out something really interesting I saw in regards to this. According to the Hollywood Reporter, let me see if I can get the exact quote because I don't want to misquote this. This is one of those things where it's like I kind of really want to make sure I get right because of the way that they said it. So they had reported on Kathleen Kennedy moving, and let me see if I can find it. Oh my gosh.
While you're looking for that, she is being replaced by Dave Filoni and a woman by the name of Lenwyn Brennan. She will become co-president of the company and handle all business development of Lucasfilm. So,
which
I'm assuming it's going to be, yeah, I think it's a really smart thing. Let Dave Filoni handle like the creative side, and then how do you say her name? Lenwyn. She can handle all the business side and everything. I think that's actually going to be kind of a smart setup for the two of them moving forward because I love Dave Filoni. He gave me Ahsoka. So
you love Ahsoka. So first of all, to like all of the Disney guys that had always, I actually didn't know this as a huge Star Wars fan. I did not know that Kathleen Kennedy was handpicked by George Lucas to take over Lucasfilms when he left. Here's the thing. So the Hollywood Reporter, when they were talking about this situation with Kathleen Kennedy, had talked about the fact that when she had left, before she left, it felt like Star Wars was very stagnant in what they were pushing out content-wise. And now that Filoni is taking over, it sounds like Lucasfilm wants to put the studio into hyperdrive.
Interesting.
I can both agree and disagree. I think after the sequels, because of the way that they were received, and a lot of people hoping that it wasn't going to be a similar reception to the prequels, I don't think that they expected
Which everybody loves now, by the way. Fun fact, 20 years later, everybody loves it.
Right. So, like, you got to give it time. It's got to age because it's the same thing we saw with the prequels. The prequels weren't made for the adults that saw the originals. It was made for the kids of the people who saw the originals, and the same thing with the sequels. But at first I didn't really agree. I was like, no, because we got Rogue One, we got Solo, we got all these fantastic shows. And then I saw what she had to say about Solo. And to me, I think the longer she stayed at Lucasfilm, the more scared she got of putting out content that the fan base didn't enjoy, which is why we didn't get a season 2 of The Acolyte.
Interesting.
I
Which
think
sucks because I love The Acolyte so
good.
much. Like, how do people not? Obviously, it was already canceled before we got to that finale, but we got live action Darth Plagueis,
Right.
and now we don't get to see that.
We got so much lore about the Jedi, about the Force, about the Knights of Ren, and now it's like, and so she had commented about Solo that she had really enjoyed it and she really enjoyed the actor who played Han, but that she felt like part of the reason, or the biggest reason why it wasn't a success, was because it was too soon to replace Han Solo. First of all, I don't think you're replacing Han Solo. You're not. This isn't
Oh,
even the first time somebody else has played him. Sure, it's the first time live action, but
right.
somebody else has voiced him in video games,
Yeah.
in series. So I'm confused as to what. Second of all, I don't think anyone complained about the actor, or at least from what I saw, about the actor who played young Han. I think most people were like, bring him back.
Yeah, his mannerisms, like the way he carried himself in that role, I was like, this kid gets it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. This is young Han Solo.
And his chemistry with Donald Glover, it was like it's Lando and Han.
Yeah, but I think that's more on Donald Glover because he's like the GOAT.
Well, absolutely. Shout out Donald Glover. Do more.
Which, by the way,
things.
I guess he has turned in a Lando Calrissian script, which is really
Huge.
exciting. I hope they explore his relationship with the Millennium Falcon.
Oh yeah, I also would love to know, because we know that he got Bespin because of gambling. I want to see that. I want to see him turn into this leader.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. We also know that she had reached out to the creator of Breaking Bad to create a Star Wars movie. Apparently she had decided to put The Hunt for Ben Solo back on a back burner, so it's not entirely canceled anymore. And I think the fans calling for that movie to come out played a huge role in that.
Yeah.
I also think, to kind of turn us into the second piece of Star Wars news, I think them pulling Kylo Ren from Galaxy's Edge in Galaxy's Edge West, aka the Disneyland version of Galaxy's Edge, is their way of hinting, hey, Kylo Ren's coming back. Especially because the Legacy of Vader, the comic book that just came out, that kind of told you a little bit about Kylo Ren's, like, how he was raised when he was a young boy. It says that Kylo Ren will return.
I saw that at the very end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like them changing things back into the OG Star Wars for Galaxy's Edge and them only having Rey kind of signifies this shift from where we're moving with the sequels. And I think, and I'll get to my thoughts about Galaxy's Edge news in a second here, but I feel like it's a good thing to get new people in there. And I do agree that she was very stagnant. I hope that they don't fly too close to the sun right off the bat. I think that's my biggest concern.
Yeah. They've got some big different types of Star Wars projects like in the works.
Yeah.
I know last week we talked about a couple of the movies that are coming out over the next couple of years. Obviously, we've got the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that's coming out in May, I think.
Mhm.
May 26th, I think, is when that
Yeah.
one releases. And then there is that Starfighter, Space Top Gun with Ryan Gosling. That'll be interesting
So
because
excited.
that's kind of like that's like not really a story that's ever been told.
Yeah.
In a live action movie format, and I think maybe putting Lucasfilm production into hyperdrive doesn't necessarily mean making a lot of stuff, but it means exploring a lot more of the universe.
God, I hope.
Because, I mean, when you think about it, like, everything has been around the Skywalker saga.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even Rogue One and Han Solo
Yeah.
were adjacent to the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
So, I think stepping away from that, not necessarily stepping away from that. Like I understand like that is the basis for everything that we understand about Star Wars is the Skywalker family.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to a galaxy far, far away than we realize, right? And I
Right.
think Ahsoka has done such an amazing job of exploring all of that,
Especially
right?
with the
Like,
Force. Yeah.
yeah, they literally rode the whales all the way across the universe to another galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not only are we in a galaxy far, far away, but we're in a galaxy even farther away with
Right.
Ahsoka, and she is stuck there now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all this stuff that's going to happen with the father and the son and the sister, and all of those things that are lore around the Force. I really do think that this might be an opportunity for Star Wars to like really lean into that side of
Right.
it, and not necessarily just like pump new
Yeah.
projects out left and right. Which
That's fair.
again, if they did that, would not mind. I was
Oh,
actually
we'd all
telling
still eat it.
yeah, I was literally telling my wife the other day. I was like, I miss like Star Wars. Like I miss having new Star Wars stuff to
Yeah.
watch consistently. Like it felt like probably I would say what 20 when did Force Awakens come out? 2014?
2016, 2015, 2015, December
2015?
2015.
So like from 2015 to like 2022, it felt like we had a lot of Star Wars
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And then it's really, really slowed down since, and it's kind of I wouldn't say stagnant, but I mean, Kathleen Kennedy is the one who said that word. So I definitely, I'm not going to disagree with Kathleen Kennedy, but I will say this. I swear to God, if you Star Wars bros do
Ruin this.
anything to make Dave Filoni not want to be a part of this anymore, I will hunt you down and slice you in half like you are Darth Maul and I am Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm not even kidding.
Ooh. Let me at him.
I'm
Let
just
me.
like, I sent you a meme on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that. It was the Grim Reaper meme where he's going door to door.
Oh yeah.
It was George. The first door was George Lucas. Second door was Kathleen Kennedy, and he's like knocking on the Dave Filoni door. I'm like, I swear to God, like Star Wars theory, stay hundreds of miles away from this.
Star
Don't
Wars theory.
don't
If
you dare.
you touch the new Rey movies, I
Yeah,
swear to God, it
don't
will
you
be
dare.
like Anakin and the younglings.
Slaughter them. He's killing younglings.
They were like animals. I will
Yeah,
say, with Filoni, kind of on what you're saying, I feel like I told you, I think it was like you and me before we recorded last time. One of my biggest issues, or maybe I said it on recording, one of my biggest issues with the sequels is something that we in the industry call a show Bible. Typically, when you're writing a TV show, you have a binder that tells you everything you need to know about the show, about the characters, about the plots, to kind of ensure that plot holes don't happen, to ensure that each character kind of gets like an arc and you know where it's going. Most TV shows will have one for a couple of seasons, and then that's when things like Jumping the Shark comes in. But shows like Andor or Mando or short running shows will have a show Bible that tell you everything, right? But my point with this is one of my issues with the sequel is that there was nothing telling everybody where to go. Unlike the
yeah,
original trilogy, the prequels. Now that Dave Filoni is in charge of just the creativity and we don't have one person looking over everything, I think we are going to be entering into an era of Star Wars where we're not going to have things like midichlorians suddenly coming up. We're not going to have movies and TV shows that feel like they have to go back and rewrite things. I think Filoni is going to sit down and he is going to pull a George Lucas. That man is going to lock himself in a hole and write billions of years worth of mythology, of history, and we are going to enter into an era of Star Wars where things are going to be a lot more clear and concise and have continuity.
yeah. I think you're absolutely right, and you say that he's going to lock himself in a hole and write billions of years. He's definitely
He's already
100% already done all that work.
been in there for
Like,
years already.
I mean, he was the understudy of George Lucas. Like, he learned
Yeah.
directly from him. So, if there's anybody that knows Star Wars better than anybody else not named George Lucas,
It's him.
it's Dave Filoni.
And I think that shows too. So, kind of moving into the Galaxy's Edge news, for those of you who have not heard, like I said, Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, or Galaxy's Edge West, as they call it, is getting an overhaul. So, Ray, R2, and Chewie will be the only sequel characters available to meet in the parks. Chewbacca at the parks, 10 out of 10. Ray will be over by the Resistance camp, which is where Rise of the Resistance is. R2, do you mind? I am recording a podcast. It's my dog itching herself. Um, Chewie and R2 will be over by the Falcon with Leia Organa, Han Solo, and Luke Skywalker.
The OG crew. Nice.
The OG crew will be back. Leia is wearing an outfit similar to her Star Wars Battlefront 2 outfit with
sick.
her braids from Empire Strikes Back. I'll get to that in a second, and there's a reason why I'm specifically emphasizing that. Darth Vader will be over by where the First Order outpost was. And there were some fans being like, well, but that's a First Order TIE fighter. They already rewrote the canon for that, which I am sure Dave Filoni had a hand in, especially some of the stores' lores are changing. One of the stores will now have been owned by previous clones. There is a lot of overhaul that originally I was kind of pissed about. Namely, the fact that one of my favorite things about Galaxy's Edge is you walk into it and there isn't a soundtrack. It's a soundscape. So it makes you feel like you are immersed in the Star Wars universe on this planet called Batuu. Now it sounds like they're going to still have that soundscape, but they are just going to play music from the Star Wars saga in different areas, depending on where you're standing.
Nice.
Which is fine. But it also means that they are getting rid of the song that John Williams wrote for Galaxy's Edge, which is called the Galaxy's Edge Suite, which plays as you walk through the tunnels into Galaxy's Edge. I was at first a little bit hesitant and a little upset about this because I felt like the sequels were getting the prequel treatment here. But then I turned around when I heard that Leia was wearing her Battlefront 2 outfit, specifically because this means that Battlefront 2 is 100% canon, and it gives the potential to open the doors for characters from Star Wars Battlefront 2, Iden Versio and Del Meeko, to be more readily accessible in live action and to potentially be rare characters to meet at Disneyland. And if you should know anything about me, it is that I am the biggest fan of Iden Versio. I love Inferno Squad. I love them so dearly.
Haven't you been doing a playthrough on Twitch recently?
I just started one, yeah.
Yeah. No, that would be awesome. So I guess that's actually a good point. Like it's canonizing those extra things that we kind of had an idea were probably already part of canon, but weren't officially.
Yeah.
So I guess that's true. If they're bringing that into Galaxy's Edge, then they are making it canon.
I'm curious to see, because I guess this move takes place in a weird timeliney place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but they are currently working on tie-in comics to explain where we are going to be at this point. So I'm excited to see what the lore is here, because this is the first time that we've technically gotten new canon for the original trilogy that doesn't take place after the original trilogy in a while.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
I'm excited.
So it almost feels like some of the stuff's been in the works since before the announcement.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, obviously, like, they're not just going to, like, not do stuff and then all of a sudden announce something and then start doing stuff.
Oh, so, yeah.
That's good. I feel like if there's any movie franchise that you can trust to, like, fully take care of its fans, it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like, I think DC has done a terrible job of taking care of its fans. I think Marvel has recently begun doing not a very good job of taking care of its fans. But I feel like Star Wars, like, as a whole, has kind of always been really good of taking care of its fans, because and it might just be because it has, like, the 50 years of experience to be able to take care of their fans. So they know what they're doing. Like, if you could take care of fans in the mid 70s to 80s, you can probably take care of fans in the 2020s. So shout out to them. Shout out to Disney Lucasfilms. And thank you for your service, Kathleen Kennedy. Really do appreciate it. I was never a hater. I always thought that what we got was great. And I will pound the table for a second season of The Acolyte until the day that I die.
I just want to say, I know it's a hard shot that she would ever see this, but like, I made a TikTok about this. I won't take up too much time. Kathleen Kennedy, The Rise of Skywalker, literally saved my life. So thank you so much for the sequels. Appreciate you, homie. Although I have a counterpoint against you, which is me stealing your thunder and segueing. I would disagree. I think DC very recently started doing a very good job of taking care of their fans.
Well, yeah, they hired James Gunn and they're like, oh, yeah. And then we're like, oh, this is sweet. But this isn't even James Gunn's DC that we're talking about in this one. This is not even that Batman. Like, this is the different Batman that's like outside of the DC EU, DCU. It's not EU anymore. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
the Christopher Reeves Batman. Which I'm going to be honest with you. Talking about the Batman that came out, 3 years ago,
so
4 years
good.
ago, that we've recently also got the Penguin spin-off TV show on HBO Max from, which was fantastic.
I still need to watch it, but I will. I promise I will.
Probably the best Batman we've ever gotten.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as someone who loves... My dog's name is Batman, by the way. Like, as someone who loves the Bat family and, like, all of everything about the Batman...
Yeah.
What they were able to accomplish in that movie, I thought was so fantastic. And what is Edward Cullen? What's the actor's name? Robert Pattinson. I thought that he was a fantastic young Batman.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, he's lore? Like, and the cool thing is in this story is that like it's young Batman who hasn't really figured out really how to be Batman, but also hasn't really figured out like what it means to be Bruce Wayne yet. So he did a really good job like operating in that gray area, and I think we got to see him grow in both of those spots. But now we're going into the Batman 2, and they have announced
I'm so excited.
Harvey Dent is being played by Sebastian Stan.
Which kind of means that Bucky Barnes is probably dying in Doomsday.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You know.
He gets to play my favorite Batman villain now, so we're good.
Two-Face is your favorite Batman villain?
I love Two-Face. Absolutely, yeah.
That's pretty dope. I don't know if I've ever like met someone who's like, yeah, my favorite person in Batman's Rogue Gallery is Two-Face.
I feel like he is the best foil for the inner conflict within Bruce Wayne.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I
feel like the Joker is like the complete opposite of Batman, which makes him such a classic good villain. But Two-Face is such a good allegory for the conflict within Bruce Wayne that like I think he's constantly overlooked.
Yeah.
Which anyone from the DCU who's watching, listen, my name's Dakota. I'm an actress. I look really good with red hair, and I do technically have a disability in my legs, so I could play her as Batgirl or Oracle. Just hit me up.
If you landed Barbara Gordon,
oh, she's a dream role.
That would be so sick.
She's a dream role for me.
But yeah, this casting is like, I think this is gonna be so cool. You know, and I don't think when was the last time we got like legit? Well, I guess we got Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight.
I think that was also a phenomenal interpretation of him too, honestly.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job. I'm not a fan of that era of Batman.
Interesting.
Full disclosure, I don't like it because I'm the same height as that Batman. Christian Bale is a wee little lad. And my Batman is like 6'4" and could pound your face in.
That's so fair.
You know what I mean?
Fair. Yeah.
Like that's why I like Ben Affleck's version of Batman more, because I'm just like, this guy,
it's like
he looks like Batman. Like Christian Bale is. But I get it. Like that era, the Christopher Nolan Batman was like grounded in reality. Like what could we possibly really get if this was happening in real life right now, right? Like,
yeah.
And I had problems with Bane too, because Tom Hardy's like also not very big in real life.
Yeah.
You know, they use some Hollywood camera tricks to make him look big, but in my brain, I'm like, Bane is a massive like luchador wrestler who is hopped out on Venom. Like, I'm just like, yeah, it's Venom, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. So yeah, I think this will be an interesting story. I wonder how much, like, what part of Harvey Dent's like life are we getting? Is it like the beginning of
Yeah.
him becoming Two-Face, kind of like we got in The Dark Knight, or is it like Harvey Dent's already been existing? You know, because like the way they did the Riddler story, it was the Riddler just popped up like
Right.
in this movie. Like we're just now learning about him.
Which
Has
the
Batman been dealing with Two-Face already? You know,
right. Which also having the Riddler be your first introduction back into the Batman universe, I thought was so clever.
yeah. Which
That was great.
it was an excellent portrayal of the Riddler.
Oh yeah. Paul
It was
Dano,
so
wherever
cool.
you are.
I mean, I'll always love Jim Carrey's version, but I'll always love Jim Carrey's version of everything. So
Which I will say, because we've gotten, a very hyper realistic Harvey Dent, and we've also gotten very cartoony Harvey Dent, I wonder if they're going to find a middle ground between the two of them. Are we going to get a more like grotesque kind of a vibe? Is it going to still be cartoony?
I would envision that we do because, well, no, I guess the Clayface movie is going to be the DCU, and that's supposed to be like a horror movie.
Well, but the way that they do Penguin is why I think they're going to try and find a middle ground, because
Yeah,
he
because
looks,
he looks human,
but he also
but he
looks
doesn't look.
off.
Yeah, he doesn't look like Danny DeVito's version of the Penguin,
Right.
but he
I'm
also doesn't look like the most realistic, like the
right.
most real person. But it looks like, maybe in this Gotham place that exists, there could be
Right.
this thing.
I think it's a very good middle ground, and it kind of feels like comic book, because to me DC has always been, specifically Batman, very gritty and darker.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we're finally getting like the proper, like you said, the proper comic book or movie adaptation of Batman.
Yeah.
Same thing with Superman.
Different universes, though.
I know, but it's interesting how these two universes, how these two directors did such a good job.
That they're both so good in their own stand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder, this is not even related, and we have to move on here shortly, but I do wonder what James Gunn is going to do with the Batman story and the Bat family. Because I know that the Brave and the Bold is like already
Yeah, which
being
love the Brave and the Bold.
messed with. But I'm like, I honestly am thinking like Superman is young. Batman is older than Superman.
Yeah.
Batman has already existed in this timeline for a while. If Superman has already been Superman for at least 3 years,
He's definitely been Batman
Batman's
for 5.
probably been Batman for maybe more, maybe 10.
And I think too,
Like he's definitely met Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
He's definitely already discovered that he has this villain in the Joker. He's definitely already had Dick Grayson.
I think I had seen somewhere that they decided that they weren't going to like restart again with it, and that we were going to kind of find him in a similar place with Ben Affleck's, that
Yeah.
Dick
Like
has
Jason
already
Todd
died.
had already been murdered in
Jason Todd, that's right.
the Batman v Superman movie. Yeah, like that would be so cool. Like I want to meet a Batman that his current Robin is his son. Give me Damian Wayne Robin.
Yeah.
I want the whole Bat family. I want Nightwing. I want Red Robin. I want the Red Hood. And Zac Efron needs to be cast as the Red Hood.
I'm interested too if Batman has already been Batman, I know some people go back and forth on how they feel about the killer joke. Where are we going to see Barbara Gordon? Because again, Barbara Gordon is my favorite DC character. I love her. I'm curious to see where we're going to see her. Is she already disabled? Has she already been paralyzed? Or are we, because her story's never been told in live action.
That's true.
And
so maybe it's not, maybe it's post Dick Grayson, pre Tim Drake era Batman.
I'd fuck with that.
With Officer Gordon is still doing his stuff.
Yeah.
His daughter, I don't know how it could work out, but I feel like if anybody's gonna figure it out, it's gonna be James Gunn.
Yeah, always.
100% it's gonna be James Gunn. Speaking of James Gunn, he loves superheroes.
He does.
And we here at the Gridiron Geeks also love superheroes.
What?
So we wanted to share with you guys, since this is our second episode, we wanted to share with you guys who our favorite superhero is and why we love them so much.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I can start.
Because we were technically talking about yours, so.
we did kind of mention him.
Yeah.
My favorite superhero is I don't know. The Last Son of Krypton, the Man of Tomorrow, Kal-El, the Man of Steel, Superman. That is my favorite superhero. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably already typing in the chat like Strez. That's the most basic choice you could possibly take. First of all, Coda's
Boo.
pick is way more basic than mine. And second off,
Hey.
Superman is and always will be the GOAT of superheroes because he practically invented the genre. I understand that there's some historical debates that could be said about Shazam and Captain Marvel, like the original Captain Marvel.
It would be the Human Torch, but
oh, fair.
yeah.
So there, I love everything that he has always just kind of stood for, and I think I cried so many different times in the showing of the Superman when it came out last year because like there was the part where he has that interaction with Lex at the very end of the movie before Crypto comes out and like bites Lex's face off. He's like explaining to him, he's like, that's what you get wrong about me. He's like, I love the fact that I am living as a human, basically. He's like, and that's always kind of been to me like and as a man, like obviously I'm going to view this differently, but like as a man, like there has been responsibility kind of given to men unwantingly or unearned or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And that power has been abused for so many centuries and by so many different men out there. And when you look at Superman, who has all of the power and all of the abilities possible, he literally is invincible except for this little green rock from his exploded planet. Like you cannot, and also magic, but we're not going to talk about that. Like he could do whatever he wants to do, and yet he chooses to not.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is the perfect example of what it looks like for. I have a tattoo on my shoulder that is a lion with a rose in its mouth, and it signifies strength protecting innocence.
Oh, I love that.
And that to me is like the true view of what I view is. My cats are like fighting each other.
Not
that
our
is
dogs
like
and animals, just like
the true. It's like the true view to me of like what it means, like what masculinity looks like to me. Like
yeah.
It's like even with the ability to do it, you choose not to.
Yeah.
Because you're better than that. That's Ahsoka, by the way.
Hi, baby girl.
And yeah, I don't know. There's just, and also it's so dope just to see him like, he could punch a planet and vaporize it. Like, that's so cool.
Oh man, dude, that I cried so many times in that movie because it was like watching a comic. Like it was literally like watching a comic book in movie form.
This man saved a squirrel.
And they almost took that out.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad they had to leave that in because this was like that's Superman. Like that's the example
Superman.
right there. It's like even the most vulnerable, Superman is still going to protect them.
Yeah,
and that's one of the that's what I love about Superman.
It's funny because when we had decided that we were going to talk about this, I had pointed out that I feel like we chose the other comics version of the same character almost. So for those of you who are brand new to me, I love Captain America.
Wait, no way.
I know. It's like I got 3 tattoos for the guy or something. I got 3 tattoos. So my first one is this guy. It's I can do this all day with a red star and a blue star. I have on my right collarbone on your left, and it's on my right collarbone because it'll always be on somebody else's left.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then on my shoulder, I have "No, you move" from one of his most iconic comic book quotes, which is, even when the whole world and the press are telling you to move, it is your duty to stand like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move, which is said to Spider-Man in the Civil War comic about whether or not Peter should be for the Accords or not, or the Superhero Registration Act or not, excuse me. But yeah, I'm a massive Captain America fan. I love almost every iteration of Captain America: Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson, James Buchanan Barnes. But if I am forced to narrow it down to one, it is Steve Rogers. The first time I ever saw anything Captain America related was the 2011 movie. And at the time we had just moved and I had been insanely bullied because of how small I was.
That only came out in 2011?
Came out in 2011.
Wow.
I know.
That was 15 years ago.
I don't say that. But there was something that really upset me about that movie. And it's why I have been a Captain America fan since then. It's that he was able to get everything. He had somebody who loved him. He had everything that he had ever wanted. He got to serve. He got to be a hero, all this stuff. And then he became a stranger in a different time. And we got out of the movie. My dad was like, "What did you think?" And I was like, "I think he's my favorite superhero, but Dad, I don't like how it ended. Why did it have to end like that?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Because that's how it is in the comics." And to me, being a kid who had moved around a lot growing up and always felt different, I understood entirely how it felt to constantly feel like a stranger, even amongst people you're technically supposed to be the same age as. That you can look like you're, almost 28 years old, but you feel disconnected from the people around you because you're not from that place. You're not from that time. But there was something to me about the fact that he stood for people who were being bullied. That, somebody who was like me, really small, had maybe one person in their life, decided to be good instead of evil. There's a quote from the first movie from Erskine that kind of also made me think about why you chose Superman. The strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that power, but a weak man knows the value of strength and knows compassion. And to me, that is just everything that I hope to live by. I can only dream to be half the person that Steve Rogers is. And when you take the fact that Steve Rogers, throughout his entire comic book history and movie history, has never actually been about America, which is, I think, where a lot of people get him wrong, is that he is for the ideals of America and what America is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a place for freedom, equity, equality. Give me your tired, your weak, your huddled masses. He is supposed to be a protector. But then when you look at Steve Rogers independently, this man keeps pushing, he keeps fighting, he keeps doing it despite the fact that he's alone, despite the fact that he feels like an outsider, despite the fact that no matter how hard he tries, he will always be different. But he's still, for lack of a better term, he can still do this all day.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's something really inspiring about seeing somebody who has been through so much, who could very easily just give up and say, "I'm done," but doesn't. So
shout out Steve Rogers and Clark Kent for just being good dudes.
We love you, nerds.
Next episode, we'll do favorite comic book characters in general.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. We don't have to do that. Everybody's going to look at me weird when I bring up mine.
In general?
Yeah. Just like not just your favorite superhero, but your favorite comic book character.
Ooh, I'm going to have to think about that. Because I think mine is still a superhero.
Valid. Which is allowed because they are comic book characters.
True.
So, yeah. Let us know who your favorite superhero is in the comment section below and why. Make sure you put that right next to your game picks because that's how this podcast rolls. We talk NFL and we talk about superheroes. Anything else that we need to leave before we leave? Say before we leave?
I hope that everyone has a good time this weekend, and no matter the outcomes, we are all kind and respectful about it.
Disagree. If Broncos lose, I'm setting the world on fire. Make sure you guys click the like button and drop a subscribe on your way out, and we will catch you guys in the next episode of the Gridiron Geeks.
Woo woo.
Peace.
Bye, friends.